How in the world are you going to prepare a young person for a world that's so dynamically evolving that we can't even imagine it? It requires genuine creativity and building complex relationships with people. But when you think about a creative person, and you ask an adult to say, hey, who's creative? Usually you get this bohemian, whimsical person with like a wizard hat and maybe flowing robes and whatnot, and can't keep anything straight, and just a whole mess, but they create beauty and gorgeousness. That person's creative. I'm in a room of entrepreneurs who created a business that solved a specific problem and are making lots of money doing it, and none of them thought they were creative. Think about that. What's funny is that we put creativity, we have usually put it in this box. It belongs in the box of butterflies, daffodils, rainbows, and unicorns. And kids get to be creative. When you look at the brain of a child, especially a young child, you ask that 6-year-old what their day was like. You can get a range of different answers. You'll start in one place and you'll end all the way over here, right? And they took you through a wonderful journey to get there. Now you ask an older child or one of us. When somebody gets home and your significant other says, hey, how was the day? It's a day. One of the things that we said is we need to start to reclaim the narrative on creativity. And that's why we call it the creator archetype. Because really, what are you doing? What are we trying to do? We're trying to help empower and equip thinkers and doers, right? So what I think we have to do is get fairly influential people who are sitting in either seats of power or significant influence and help them recognize just how critical of an asset this is to humanity and what we need to be doing, not would like to do or would be nice to do, but we have to start to connect the dots. It's something that can move nations. It can solve climate crisis. It could materially save lives. What we said were 5 domains that are the big categories of what makes a 21st century learner, a 21st century creator. The biggest one, believe it or not, social and emotional learning. That's somebody who understands who they are, understands their voice, their value, and the value of others, and understands how to regulate their own brain to maximize their effectiveness in the world. Digital fluency, but not just how to use technology, how to do it smartly. Data analytics, where to go get the information, how to do it safely, how to not be duped. So digital fluency, critical. Design thinking, human-centered design. Wow, man, if I had that skill set, if somebody had explicitly taught me that early on in life, I feel like I'd be even further. But how do we actually use these principles of bringing something from idea to creation and then multiple iterations? Design thinking. The last one, civics and service. Understanding that whatever I do, me living my best life absolutely has an effect on somebody else's ability to live theirs. So what's my responsibility? To add that lens to my decision making.
Do you consider creativity and curiosity to be synonymous, or how would you distinguish the two?
That's great. I don't think that they're synonymous. I think that you have to have curiosity in order to be creative. There are a few people who can just intuit things, right? Sometimes they have medicinal help, and but there are people who just have the ability to just think of something that's never existed before, right? But oftentimes creativity is really about connecting dots. That's why travel is so important. And when you're poor, you don't get to do that oftentimes. And so, that whole idea, like, you can't imagine what you've never seen. Creativity comes with experience, touching things, seeing things, hearing them. And the more and more you get those opportunities, the more curious people are. So let's make sure we're focused on creating creators.